What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And it's Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Tuesday. So you know what it is. It's the round table. And I'm so happy to be able to be over here on this show. As we know, our girl Delilah is not here, and our guy Nick is not here, but I will do my best to fill in the slot of them, even though I cannot hold the candles to what they do. But it's not just me on here. We already know there's two that already hold it down on this show. And you see this guy right here. You see this guy, the future coach and AD of Buck Tussle State. All right. The guy that's going to bring them back to Providence. My guy, Anthony. Anthony. What up, Anthony?
I'm still looking for the guy you say go coach the football team.
Look,
you can have me coaching the team if you want to. I'll be sitting on the bench next to Eberflus faster than you can say Nationwide is on your side.
Right? What up, Anthony?
I'll be out there with Derrick Henry. Home. Auto.
Hashtag double check.
No discount double check. Makes you want to go live in mud huts for 6 months and put substances in your body. But I'm not doing too terribly bad. I'm a little tired, but I got my caffeine is always with me. And got a little something in me. Got a little food in me before we got this show started. So I am very, very happy to be here. I do want to say that the hospitality contingency from Zamunda sends their warmest greetings because they are very sorry that they could not be here. They are working on it. Only took 2 years, but our McFlurby machine is broken. And unfortunately, Mr. McDowell is no longer with us. He is the only one who knew how to fix it. So they could not come.
Yes. Thank you for that, brother. Yo, and you know who is down here. My co-host on Let's Talk Football Breaking News, Miss Tina Winter. What up, Tina?
Woo, 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 woo. I brought this out yesterday. Me and Miles are doing really good.
Hey. We know Chewy's around the way. We know Chewy's somewhere around there. She'll make her appearance later.
Well, he just walked back in the room.
He is. He heard us.
He hears the talking, and he's like,
Yo, yes. So we want to shout out our guys that are not with us. Obviously, Delilah's got some stuff, got work going on. And Nick had to deal with a loss in the family. So our prayers go out to him and his loved ones and everything that he's going through. But they will definitely be here next week when we come back on the show. But for today, I am here, your boy Sean Spencer. And you know how every show and every game starts. Coin toss, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? Yeah, buddy. We start with the coin toss, and we're gonna start in a very familiar place for my guy over here. Pittsburgh got a steal when they got George Pickens a couple years ago. He has balled out. His talent is unquestioned, but he has also had some issues not necessarily off the field, but in the game. Altercations, getting physical with some players and things of that nature. He seems hot-tempered at certain times. This week, he was out because of a minor hamstring issue, but was it something more? Anthony, I'm going to come to you first. You are very familiar with George Pickens, with his injury issues that he had when he was at Georgia, but also he's a feisty, fiery player, and this is great when he's on your team, but also can be a detriment. What do you know, man?
I absolutely love your diplomacy and tact, sir. I won't say what I want to say. We will leave that to my esteemed co-host down there. And it's going to happen somewhere between the 38-minute mark and the 47-minute mark. So right. Just mark your calendar.
You mean he's a brawling idiot?
Well, I was going to say he's a crazy SOB. I mean, I don't want to use that term lightly because we do take mental health very seriously, but George Pickens will start a fight in an empty room, sitting in there by himself.
With a
He will start a
wall.
fight for no reason.
Yep.
Man, I don't like the way that chair was looking at me, yo. I'm saying, you the ops now. Skirt,
Right.
ski yee. I don't know what is got. I don't know what's up with George. He likes to fight. He should have been a boxer. Seriously. He used to fight a lot. The Georgia Tech game. You and I talked about this, Sean. I think you sat in for Colin on our UGA show. George Pickens made a contested catch in the end zone, got the touchdown. All he had to do was turn around and hand the ball to the referee. Instead, he grabs the Georgia Tech defender and has got him like choked out up against the double-handed choke out up against the wall in the end zone. That's just what he does, but his talent is undeniable. This is the same guy that sat out an entire year, doesn't show up until I think the SEC championships or the national championship, and makes a ridiculous laid out all the way catch that almost turns into a double tuck landing. It was insane. Yeah, I think our guy is suffering from a case of Cypress Hill. Those of you that are music fans know exactly what I'm saying.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain. Pick it, pack it, make a peeler. I'ma start a fight with somebody, not a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Hey,
I'm going in. I hate the Miami Hurricanes because a brother like me is going insane. I don't know. Anyway, hashtag Mr. Fingers Freestyles. Yeah, available on everywhere that your podcasts are available. Pickens. I don't know what's going on with Pickens. He just got this. He's got this perpetual chip. You know who he reminds me of? You remember young Isaiah Thomas in the NBA?
Oh yes.
Always fighting with somebody. I think a look into his background growing up might be warranted, because Isaiah Thomas is very open about the fact that he didn't grow up in the best of environments. He had a rough upbringing. He was always a small guy, so he always had to fight his way out of things. So there may be that, but I'm just saying, so my man stays hurt and he stays ready. He stayed ready to get ready. He said, "Look, don't be at the stadium and they play Nuck If You Buck during the commercial break. He might be in the stands fighting somebody."
Right. Look, and even on plays where things aren't even around him. I know in the game where they played Washington, they threw it to him. He was double covered. We intercepted it, and there was a guy that was running up with the ball. He didn't chase that guy. He went for the other guy that was behind him, gave him a chokehold, took him down. It was going after him. I'm like, for what? That he has nothing to do with the play. What are we talking about? So, Tina, I'm going to come to you. Look, at the end of the day, he's a great player. There's no doubt about that. And yes, this might be an injury issue. Maybe Tomlin's saying, I want to hold you for the long term, for the playoffs, because we're to go. Could this rear its ugly head later in the year? I mean, is this an Antonio Brown, Chase Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster? I mean, typical Steelers wide receiver issue?
15 yards, 20-yard personal foul. Yeah. Lost a game. Take it from the Steelers getting off the field at a 4th and 1, and suddenly they're at the 5-yard line going in for a touchdown. Yeah, it definitely can. Or it'll turn the other way. They're trying to get a 4th and 1, and he creates the penalty, and now they're 20 yards back. So, I mean, but you know what? It's the same with T.O. It's the same with all of the wide receivers. We like a little crazy in our wide receivers because that's what makes them so good. That's what makes them the athletes they are. That's what makes them the egos and the prima donna-ness and all of that. I want the ball. I'm the best. It creates good wide receivers. So you take one, you get the other. They're just usually not so much more in this hand. It's like, you want it like a 75-25, like he can control it a little bit. I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, it's a detriment. And as long as his numbers are better than his right hook.
Yeah, well, right. And look, it's not like it's not just the Steelers that this is having to. This This happens everywhere. I mean, I
Aqib
often
Talib.
yeah, right. Yeah, I often tell the cautionary tale of Lawrence Phillips and how many passes he was given, and unfortunately, he was not able to stay out of trouble. Look, we know if a guy has superior talent, they will continue to look the other way or continue to try to help him out. And that's why I wonder if Tomlin just said, take a game, cool off, relax, because we potentially can be making a run at not only the playoffs, but I mean, they have a defense, and with Russell Wilson and how that offense is going, who knows? They could make a run for the championship to get to the Super Bowl. We don't know, but you're like you said, Tina, penalty like that late in the game where you have an opportunity to get it, and all of a sudden now you're at a field goal range because of some crap like that or something that happens that he's done. That you don't need that. You do not need that. So, we are going to move on, Tina. I'm going to come back to you. Detroit has been having an amazing season. Everybody knows how great they are, but they have had a string of injuries on the defense, the linebackers. I know the secondary. I worry that maybe this could derail their season. What do you think, man? What have you heard?
I think they're the next man up when it comes to their defense. They just plug another person in there, and it seems to be working for them. And let's be honest, right now, I think the NFC is the weaker division.
Yep.
I think they can play through for the next couple of weeks, get some guys back in the playoff, and make a very good run for it. I mean, they just seem to be blessed this season, and games that looks like may not be as cookie cutter as they want them to be, they turn out fine. I mean, the Green Bay game is an interesting one because Green Bay was out of that game in the first half.
Right.
And came back in the second. So that's where maybe some of those injuries can show it. If you're playing against a team with somebody who can sling the ball, like Love was doing, or you get Baker Mayfield or someone like that, it could sneak up on you.
Oh yeah.
And so, but I don't know if they're cursed. I just know this team was built for the Super Bowl run this year and probably the next year. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to hurt at some point. I mean, I read something they have 18 players on injured reserve.
Yeah.
And 6 of their 13 top defensive guys are injured right now. So,
yeah. And look, see, Handy, look, I lived with somebody for a decade that was ready during this time of the year to commonly just have her paper bag over her head and watch a game simply like that. Like, this is a fan base that has
like
been
this.
ready. Yes. That is just like, please get us through this. So now to finally have this where you have the shot, it's in sight. But what do I say? The race is not given to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but to days that they've endured. But it almost seems like the Lions to just right at the finish line, just we just fall. Can they overcome these injuries, Handy?
I got a better analogy for you. How about 300, where they just whooped everybody going into battle, and then they got into the Battle of Thermopylae, and they got
come together, and the team just beat everybody.
Right, and then at the when they got at Thermopylae, where they got bottlenecked, where they where they did not wind up not making it home. That's kind of Detroit. Detroit is like Detroit has. I remember Detroit as a kid. I remember going, it's Thanksgiving, I'm watching the Dallas game because whoever Detroit was playing was going to win. No matter how bad that team was, they were going to get a victory that day just because Detroit was not good. And now they're just like taking lunch money, man. When you're looking at dork, give me your milk. You're lactose intolerant. Don't care. I just took yours. There you go. Anyway, that's what's going on with Detroit right now. I don't. I would hate this. I would hate to see this run come to an end. I want to see him get over the hump, and I am a fan of an NFC team. I want to see the Lions get over the hump, and like as Major Payne told Cadet Stone, did you see the trophy? Did you even see it? Like I want him to get there so they can be. Did you want to steal it? I want to earn it, sir. That's what I want them to get. So I think if anybody's possible of getting over this hump like that, I think it's Detroit. I mean, because their coach
think
is
they
certified.
crawl through grass to make the Super Bowl. Like this is just a team. It's plucky. They're talented, and they'll do what they need to do. And that offense is just primed.
Right.
I mean, Goff's had a couple of bad games, but he's had more good than bad. And I got to give a little shout out to my ex-Denver Bronco, Tim Patrick. I want to see him do something. Yeah, I want to see him really do something. So it's a plucky little team, and I'm rooting for him. So,
but Tim Patrick is kind of the epitome of that team. It's
exactly.
Anybody can come and make a play, and as long as you do your job, you come together, you believe in the overall goal, then you fit in. I mean, those guys, they are. I think it's to your point, Tina. It is next man up. Like it's the next guy because it's such a family unit and it's such a group. And look, I'm hoping for it. For the twins, Kat and Christina. Obviously, they've been dealing with that Lions, shame for years. I'm hoping you guys can get to it, but I cannot lie. I've seen this movie before. They don't get out. They don't get out alive. I'm just saying it. I've seen it happen before, so I'm trying to hope that this is they make it out alive. The lion, the brother, makes it out of the whole scary movie alive, a la LL Cool J and Anaconda, and then the movie he got out alive.
Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea, yes, where he
Ice Cube and Anaconda.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Didn't they both get out alive?
I think so. Yes.
See, come on now. That's what I want for Detroit. I want y'all to get out alive. But I'm feeling more like Jurassic Park right now. All right.
Clever girl.
Yoink. So, we gotta move on. We got one more thing to talk about real quick. We gotta move on. Since for some teams, none of our teams, thankfully, but for some teams, the draft and all that stuff is already on their mind. 2025 is already on their mind. So we're looking at some of the players that are come out. And we got to talk about it because some of these players got a little flash to them, a little brash to them, a little prime time. Shedeur Sanders being one of the top prospects, and also Travis Hunter to come out in this draft. Dion has made it clear that he doesn't want his son playing for a team that's not winning or it's not going to help him out. Handy, you are very familiar with the college scene and Dion, being an Atlanta guy. What do you think about this? Pulling the Eli and Archie Manning move. My son's not going to play for that crappy team.
Well, Prime ain't gonna take too much. Take too much off of nobody. You understand what I'm saying? So if the portal is full, then we ain't taking no bull. And a face like mine and an image so fine, my man is gonna be going pretty good playing for the team with the 49. That's all I'm saying.
That one just came out spontaneously. I'm working on that one. It's a work in progress. Put a little more gravel in it.
You got it. I like it.
Put a little more gravel in it. Then on the other side, there's Coach Saban going, Terry's not going to like this at all. But honestly, we've seen it happen. Eli Manning, most notably here recently. I know we talked about somebody off camera. Did you say the Elway kid?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jack Elway and John. They said he's not playing for Baltimore.
Sat out. Did not show up. For training camp.
Yeah, but I mean, and that is insanely. It was like, nope, I am not going to San Diego. I do not want to go to San Diego. I am in no way, shape, form, or fashion. I mean, California is nice. That's not where I want to go. and Archie made a few calls, and the next thing you know, our bad with the 37th pick, the New York Giants pick Eli Wedgehead Manning, quarterback, Ole Miss. And then a few
They
years
drafted
later,
him, or was there a trade? I thought there was a
I'm
trade.
Straight
being
after the
funny.
draft, yeah.
I'm just being
Ah,
funny.
okay.
I'm just being funny. And
All right.
the funny part is he had the biggest head on the team, but the guy with the little peanut head was the one that made the catch holding the football on his helmet, David Tyree.
No stickum involved in that at all.
No, not at all. Well, you know the gloves come tacky now.
Oh
I
yeah.
know.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
those wide receiver gloves are tacky straight out the bag. It's like,
Mhm.
can't put my hands on. Nah, coach,
They could-
hey coach, I'm gonna have to. I need some. No, let me stop. That was going. That was the Uber going in the wrong direction. So anyway, yeah, I definitely. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, Dion has always been a walk the walk guy. He's a guy that's like, look, I'm not gonna talk unless I can back it up.
Mhm.
It's just like when he was when he was a rookie and they wanted him to come to the combine. He was like, I ain't doing none of that. And he showed up. He showed up, shucked off his tracksuit, pew, 4-2, put his stuff on, and then left. It was like, yeah, that guy. We want that guy. So Dion's
Yeah, but he was also one of the talking heads on TV and everything, with the whole thing with the Mannings going on, talking about how bad it was that they were doing it.
okay.
But it puts the shoes on the other foot now. Now
he
he's
he can only put
bad.
the shoe on one foot. I said that out loud, didn't I?
Yeah, yeah. Look, hey, to that I'm
I
gonna
was
tell you. I'm
gonna
gonna
try
tell
to
you.
talk over it, but okay.
Just like my dad told me, is do as I say, not as I do.
Not as I do.
Yep. So
What?
that's
But I mean, it's the same thing. Caleb Williams tried to do the same thing. He said he wasn't going to play for the Bears. Who's he playing for? Playing for the Bears.
Yeah, well, Caleb didn't have anybody. It didn't have anybody in his corner that had any pull. You understand?
And Dion has pull, so he'll be it.
Dion is a Hall of Fame, Super Bowl winning cornerback, one of the best DBs in the history of the league. He is doing amazing. And now he's in college football, kicking butt and taking names. And he's got that. Well, I mean, basically,
his record, his talk is bigger than his record. Let's admit that.
Hold on. Now we're not. You're looking at Colorado. Go back and look at what he did at Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and look at what he did at Jackson State. He took them.
I'm not denying that, but at Colorado, he moved up, and he was going to do all these things and change all this stuff at Colorado. And again, he's a 50-50 at Colorado. So
in 2 years,
if you ask the people of Boulder with their economy jumping through the roof now because people want to go to the games. They can't keep the merch in the bookstore. They can't keep merch in the bookstore. They're selling out games. They've got celebrities coming to games. It has become. People are proud.
It's the economy for Boulder right now.
Yeah,
I hear it all the time from people that with friends with a lot of people from Denver. Like, he is the economy up by Boulder right now.
Right.
And so I'm just saying he's talking out of both sides of his mouth a little bit. Well, and that's Dion, and I get that about Dion, and he is great for college ball. He is bringing a lot of people to Colorado and a lot of people to some of these schools, and he's got a lot of pull. But it just smacks a little to me because he's playing the game. He's putting the shoe on he needs to put on for what he needs to do.
I have a rebuttal for you. Something you said a couple minutes ago. When Dion said that when he was a talking head, that was your point right there. He's a talking head. He's getting paid by the networks, and sometimes these guys have to come up with hot takes. They might not necessarily believe in. If you want a more realistic take on what some of these guys believe, that's when you go and you start watching Nightcap with Shay Shay and Ocho Cinco, and you go watch whatever the hell that is that Cam Newton is doing with his thing that doesn't make any sense or rhyme or reason. But I mean, he's still doing. That's when you get a more realistic take. when you're on the network, I mean, if you got 4 guys sitting up there talking, and they're all saying, "Hey, I think Dallas is the best team in the league," and then Stephen A. Smith goes, "You know what? Generally speaking, I would tend to be diametrically opposed to what you're saying, but Dallas is trending in the right direction. The only problem that they had the other night had some problems with a fumble, but the Dallas Cowboys can still pull it out." That would be boring. So somebody's got to be the one to say the weird thing, to set everybody else off, and then, and Dion don't care. Dion don't care, because either way, his check's still going to have the same number of zeros on it, whether he's the guy that everybody likes or he's the guy that come in and say, "Well, I think you full of you know what." You know what I mean?
See, that's the other part, and that's where I think, so to Handy's point, Dion even more is about his brand and about prime time and about all that stuff. And to your point, Tina, yes, Dion can live off of that. Dion doesn't have to do another thing in his life, and people will already love him for his career, for what he's done in Jackson State and in Boulder. But what Dion is now trying to do is almost similar to, actually, it's
a Nepo baby situation.
Right. It's almost like the Bronny's thing with LeBron and Bronny.
Yeah.
Shedeur can play, so he can definitely get out there and play, but he's still under this shadow of his dad and all this stuff. And now with his dad saying, "Oh, you're not going to play here, you're not going to play there," I worry that now you're not Shedeur, you're Dion's boy.
You're Dion's kid now.
Right. Because so that's why. So I don't like this is happening. I understand this happens, and there's not very many situations where you have a father that's Dion, that is a Hall of Famer, one of probably the best corner in all time, coming and speaking. He has pull and everything. But this to me just reeks of Jerry Jones and Dallas Cowboys, and somehow bringing all that in, because it's just about the brand. It's ridiculous, but it's Dion.
It is. So, I mean, I can't fault him, because I have said myself multiple times, we see these guys come in the league and then they go, "Oh, that guy was crap." But you take a kid who has been excelling at Little League and excelling at middle school level, and comes out of high school as a 5-star prospect and goes to a great school, let's say in Alabama in their prime under Nick Saban, when they were just knocking everybody out of the park, and he quarterbacks for Nick Saban for 4 years, and he's the most highly touted quarterback in America, kind of like a Trevor Lawrence situation where he never lost a game as a quarterback, and then now he's playing for the Jaguars and getting beat up. Yeah, I could see as a parent, I wouldn't want my kids going there, but that's where Dion and I diverge. I'd be like, you know what? You got this far. You do what's best for you. Make that money.
I don't know what happened with the Jaguars.
Oh God, you going to Jacksonville? Be safe on the field and be safe off the field, because Duval.
That's where you're in the pros, where it's like, can I redshirt in the pros?
Right.
Can I
Let me see if somebody else. Coach, can I see if somebody else got a better NIL deal?
But the thing is, like, Trevor gets to Jacksonville, and within a year they start doing well.
Right.
It's only this last year that they broke down for some reason.
Right.
And
well, again, that's ownership. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue.
No, it is ownership. And that's the reason why bad teams are bad teams. It's not always usually you become a bad team because there's bad calls that management have made consistently for a couple of years.
Right.
And they're not fixing the problem. Either one, they're not throwing money after the problem, or they're throwing money at the wrong problem.
Right.
And they become bad, and it just becomes, as somebody whose team used to be consistently in the playoffs for like 20. I mean, there's people in my fandom that had never seen a losing season in their adult life. So if you don't fix the problem, it becomes an even bigger problem. Then you got to crawl your way out of it. But and I can't fault Deion either. You're right. He has a brand. It's his kid. He knows what the NFL is like. He knows what it's like to be on winning teams, and knows that if you're on a good team, you have a better shot at doing well yourself. Right. And so he wants to help his kid. But to me, this is just a little bit, it's going to keep happening. Manning did it. Caleb Williams does it. Deion's going to do it. You're going to start having more of these guys saying, I don't want my kid going there.
Well, hell,
they'll be able to bully the owners not to pick their team.
Well, hell, LeVar Ball did it, and he didn't even have no skin in the game. He got all three of his sons in the league and got them where he wanted them playing. Mm-hmm. So as far as
I'm concerned, basketball is a mafia, but
you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, no, and look, and it's going to start happening.
Say something right now. Look, I got Andy. Look,
it's going to start happening more and more. Look, you start to see that more of these players have their kids playing. Antonio Gates Jr.'s son is playing. Frank Gore Jr.'s son, I think, is in the league now.
Yeah, you're seeing more and more of these leagues coming.
Right. So you're going to start seeing more and more where their parents, these legends, are coming in. But I don't think you're going to have anybody as brash as a Deion coming in there and saying, this is what's happening. This is where he's going. And the other part about it is, first of all, you have to be good enough for them to even consider it. Because most people, they'd be like, oh, well, then I'm just not going to sign you. That's fine. You're garbage. Yeah. No. But you have to be that good. But then you also have to have that bravado, that Deion, because other people aren't going to take you seriously otherwise. But it is Deion. So,
yep.
All right,
before we move on, could you? I can't imagine what it would be like being the son of being a child of Deion Sanders, because Deion was like that as a college kid. Yeah. And then when you look at Shador and Shiloh, yeah, they have little swag to them, but they still are under dad's tutelage. You know what I mean? And so it's not like they've got that Deion swag. You feel me? Right. Like Shador might flex on you with a Rolex or something like that, but he's grown up with money in his house because his dad made money his whole life. So I don't know. I wonder if they're going to be able to come in the league with that same swag, or I don't know. Because they're both graduating this year, aren't they? So they're both going in the draft.
Mm-hmm. I know you're talking about Shiloh and Shador.
Yeah, Shiloh and Shador. Yeah.
Yeah, because we know Travis. Obviously, he's going somewhere. And Travis, I told you the rumors that Travis wants to stay. They say he wants to stay in Colorado.
We're not going to be far enough down in the draft.
Yeah, that's true.
And secondly, White Lightning's showing we don't really need another cornerback.
There you go, Tina.
Hey, you can have chocolate and vanilla.
Don't get me wrong, people. If we got Travis Henry in the draft, I would be 100% okay with it.
Yes.
I was gonna say you wouldn't say no.
Right. Yeah. Oh, no, none of us would say no.
So you mean to tell me I can have?
Right now, we got our own Jason Sehorn, and I'm okay with that.
Right now, you can tell me. You telling me I can get this whole Shoney's hot fudge cake right here with the cherry on top and the extra chocolate, and I can get another slice of and it's free. Sure, why not? You only live once.
I'll take it. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we got to take a quick breather. We will be right back.
I broke Tina.
Yo, shout out to my guy Anton Benton, awesome artist. Check him out. Yeah, buddy, that was my guy, Anton Benson. Anton
Anton
Benson.
who?
I was thinking of the song, Ben.
The lie
Anton
detector,
Benson.
the detector, lie detector tests are in. In the case of 38-year-old Anton Spencer, Sean, you are not the father.
Not the father. Yeah, that's my guy, Anton Benton, creator of awesome artisans living in Virginia Beach area, but he definitely travels. Definitely tune in. Actually, he's heading to Baltimore this weekend, so he will be in the area. So definitely check him out. He does good work. Yo, we got to move on. It is your boy Sean Spencer in for Nicholas Rosario and Delilah Crespo on this week is Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. You see who I'm with: Anthony Handy, Tina Winter. So excited to be with the two of you guys. It's always fun to be with you guys. But yo, we got to move into our next segment, Team Table Talk, where we talk about our teams and see how things are. Hey, listen, I'm gonna go to Anthony first. Because you and I have something in common, Anthony. We have something that we're both familiar
We're
with.
black.
Well,
We're both
yes,
black.
that's number one. Well, we could say 1A is black and like white women, but we're not gonna go down that road. Number two,
I can't take it, man. Look, you ever have family members just put all your business in public? Duh, I got a Facebook page. People can see it. You ain't gotta tell nobody.
They say with me too. Number two, we both have spent a significant amount of time in the DMV. And number three, we both have had to deal with a Mr. Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, Mr. You Like That, who will get you 350 some odd yards and throw you 2 picks, including one that probably cost you the game. I gotta ask the questions. Do you like that? Paper bag is there. It is. There it is. Andy, there it is. What's up, Andy?
I kept it. I just had a feeling. I had a feeling.
Oh,
I mean, you
yeah.
just come on, man. I'm gonna take this off because it sounds like I'm.
It smells like McDonald's.
Yeah,
Stale, week old McDonald's.
Yeah, it does smell like week old
Stale
McDonald's.
McDonald's, right? Yeah.
Stale McDonald's. Stale filet of fish at that.
Oh,
Head farts and
Andy
fish.
Rib,
Yeah. Oh man. So Kirk Cousins in the last 4 games has thrown 0 touchdowns. Zero.
Mm.
It's like that song, nothing from nothing, leave nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta throw something if you want to get a TD.
Yeah.
He's thrown 0 touchdowns. He's thrown, how you throw for almost 1,300 yards in the last, 5 games? In the last 5 games, he's thrown 3 touchdowns. How you throw for 1,300 yards and not 1 touchdown? Nowhere in there? Not even a 1? Not even by accident? You couldn't have just accidentally rolled the ball. You couldn't have rolled the ball in the end zone and let somebody fall on it? But ask me how many.
The running back supposed to do?
Now answer me this. And somebody asked me the question. Ask me the question. The other question. You know the question.
Is it time? Do you need some big Penix energy? Is it time for that Michael?
No,
Penix?
that wasn't that was not the question.
okay.
Apparently, we are not freaking. Apparently, we are not on the same wavelength.
not
The
a pity
question
party,
was. The question was. Stop. The question was.
You made him break character.
Go sit in the corner. Oh, that one right there. That corner right there. I want to see you in this corner in 3 minutes. If you ain't here by the time the streetlights come on, it's gonna be something. I got my belt out. The last 5 games, he has thrown 3 touchdowns. He has thrown 8 interceptions. So I mean, I guess he could still be throwing touchdowns. He's just throwing them to the other team. But God, I mean, he went from 144. I don't know what the rate. The difference between QBR and rating is different. His rating went from 144.8 to as low as 40.
Oh.
I mean, his rating dropped. His rating dropped so fast, you'd have thought that he was driving 90 down 95 and saw the highway patrol and had to hit the brakes because he had drugs in the car. Hey, for real, what is going on with Kirk? I don't know.
I said now the one thing I did
Denver
say
broke them.
I would.
Am I wrong?
I don't know what happened. Well, no, he threw an interception the week before when we played Atlanta. Oh my God.
Yeah, because he's clearly playing against you.
Remix when we played against New Orleans. That's who I meant to say. The drugs are kicking in. They drug my burger. Anyway, he threw his first pick against New Orleans, and then he threw another one against Denver. And then the following week, okay, I see where you're going because then the next week was really bad. He threw
After
4.
the Denver game, it was just like
He threw 4 at the. I don't know. I think he might need to get himself checked. You know how you go on a date and the date goes really, really well, and then you don't feel well later on, and then you go see the doctor, and then you have to make that awkward phone call. I think that's what happened after the Denver game. He just been going down the tubes ever since. He pulled up in the Buc-ee's parking lot, was driving the rig, and somebody offered to come and hang out with him, and he said okay. And then later on, about 3 stops down the road, he had to stop and buy some hydrocortisone and stuff like that. Anyway, that's what happened. He got burned in Denver, literally.
Welcome to late night on the round.
Essentially, I have no idea what's going on with Kirk Cousins, man. Kirk was I was worried about him coming in. He's he's in his 30s, which is not old, but for that particular sport, that's a lot of mileage on the body. And then he just was coming back from having his Achilles repaired. Now, I have never had my Achilles torn. I have worked in physical therapy. One thing that I know is it takes a goodly amount of time to recuperate from an injury like that if you are young and in your prime. If you 30 something and you got some miles on you, it's going to take a little bit longer. Do I think he came back too early? That remains to be seen. I mean, NFL class athlete is a lot different than sitting behind the desk job like yours truly here. Of course, then too, I'm also 20 years older than Kirk, but I digress. I look better though.
Hey.
Tell me I'm lying. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that he needed I think he's run out of steam for the season. I think he would have been well served. I mean, they weren't going to sit him anyway because they gave him all that money, but he would have been well served kind of playing in a working his way back. If they were going to make him the starter, working his way back into the starting role as opposed to going in from day one. But I think it's to answer your question that you asked earlier, when you jumped the whole sequence of events and I was going A, B, C, D, and you went X, Y, Z. Now we're at X, Y, Z. Yes, I think it's time to put Penix in and at least see what he can do, because at this point now you have Tampa Bay, who won and is now taking lead of the division, at least by way of overall record. I think we still have the tiebreaker over them as far as division head to head, but the overall record, now Tampa Bay has caught up with us. We got to do something if we want to make the playoffs. Arthur Blank, I'm looking at you. Don't make me have to call you out again for another season. I'm just saying, I will call my cousin Shay Shay and I will have him bring Sterling. And you don't want Sterling to say nothing on this microphone, because if you thought Shannon was bad before he had elocution classes. Anyway, moving on along. I digress. All I'm saying is this. Actually, I said everything, so there's nothing else for me to say, because if I said it, I would just be saying it again in a different way with using different words. So yes, I think it's time for Michael Penix. Kirk is God bless you, Kirk. We appreciate you. You got Atlanta excited for a little while. But I think it's time to moveon.org and to bring in Mr. Michael Penix to see if he can kind of salvage the season out, because he's definitely trending downward, and downward is definitely not a good thing unless you're in a yoga studio, because it's great for stretching your back. That's all I got.
There you go. Hey, look, like you said, almost 3,500 yards, but 17 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. So that always is an issue. Shout out to Kathy. Thank you for joining us. Said Shador can't blame everyone else in the league, and the NFL should band together and tell Dion that we are a $1 trillion company and your son will play where he's drafted. Thank you for the comment. Appreciate you joining us.
It's not just him. Dion can play with every guy that's on that team.
Shador, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why the NFL is not going to tell him to.
It's gonna be interesting. They need and this is the other part you have to think that
It's a
they're
symbiotic
it's a business.
relationship.
Yeah, it's a
He
business.
needs the NFL, and the NFL needs him.
They need that flash. They need prime time.
Hmm.
They need that whole thing.
Yep.
It helps to sell tickets and all that stuff. So
Yep.
they'll
It
come
does.
together because the bottom line, just like in Jerry's world, the bottom line is far more important than winning. So
Yeah. Real quick about Kirk Cousins, as someone who has gone through two Achilles tendon surgeries. He's putting a lot more pressure and using that muscle a lot more than I did when I was recovering and post recovering. He's having setbacks, and I think that's probably why he's having some issues. Is like Aaron Rodgers, I think they were probably playing a little hurt and pushing themselves quite soon and faster, trying to keep their job, trying to make it seem like they're earning the paychecks they were given and everything, when maybe they should have just pumped the brakes a little bit and let him recover a little bit better. Because the Achilles tendon, he literally had to learn how to rewalk. A lot of people don't realize that, but that your Achilles tendon is involved in so much of your walking and just everyday mobility. He had to teach you have to physical therapy is teaching you how to rewalk. So I think it's a little bit worse than what. And then he also hadn't played any snaps with these guys before. So at the beginning of the year, I kind of understood why the offense wasn't kicking, but then it looked like it was starting to get into gear, like they were starting to sync up. And then who knows after that. Sorry we broke your birds.
Just stay away from Buc-ee's. That's all I got to say.
I've never been to a Buc-ee's.
Neither have I. And
I haven't been to a Buc-ee's yet.
They're building one. They're building one not too terribly far from here, or maybe it's open. I don't know. It just seems to me like a Walmart with a really big gas station is what it seems like to me, because they say it's got everything.
Yeah.
Gotta head to Buc-ee's. Here we go. Good stuff. Listen, from right, exactly. Destination. That's the bucket list. From a team with a cornerback that's proven, but maybe not with the team, to a team with a new coach that's looking for a quarterback while still paying for another one. Tina, your Denver Broncos have been doing great this year. 8-5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yep, 8-5 right now on their bye week, like my Commanders, and looking for the last 4 games of the season. You guys are right now in the playoff hunt. Is it realistic that your chances to make it to the playoffs? What do you think, man?
I think we have a realistic chance to make it. We are number 7 right now. We're 7th seed. We're 2 games ahead of Indy and Cincy right now in the wild card race. So our next opponent is the Colts. So if we win that game, that could actually kind of maybe shut the door on the barn.
Nice.
Because we would then be, provided that that Indy and Cincy both lose, it would shut the door, and we would be the 7th seed, because I don't think anybody can catch us then. The next game after that is the Chargers. That one's going to be a black and blue game. It's going to be, both teams are better than they were. So that's a divisional game. I think that one's going to be a pretty tough one, but that's on Thursday Night Football. So we play Indy, and then we play the Chargers the following Thursday. But then we get a week and a half before we play Cincy. Cincy's the game that kind of concerns me, because they're better than what people think they are. And Joe Burrow, he's a player, and he's got some ballers on that offense. So they can put up some points. I do think we have a team to keep up with them, though. So we'll see what happens with that. Honestly, I don't think the Chiefs game is going to matter. I don't think the Chiefs are going to put a full team out the last game of the year.
Yeah.
Because at this point, they have the number 1 seed locked. They're going to have a bye the first week in the playoffs. So if you know you're going into the playoffs, the only thing is it's a divisional game, and Kansas City could take this one as we're going to play this game because we don't want them to get an easy win or something like that. Because the division is rough. We're not nice to each other at all.
Black and blue.
Yeah. They only won by one. They won by a blocked field goal the first game. And we're much better than we were back then. And they lost an offensive lineman this week. I think he might be permanently out. I'm not sure. So Chiefs they might be limping into the playoffs too, but the Chiefs are one of those teams that even if they limp in, and I think the Bills might be limping in. There's going to be a few in the AFC. They're going to be limping into the playoffs, but when you're limping, you can still win games. So that's what irritates me a lot with the Chiefs is you think they're down and they manage to win the game. They just pull something. They got pluck. I don't know what you want to call it. Like Patrick Mahomes is able to pull magic out of the air.
Yes.
What did you say, Andy?
They got chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
You call it chutzpah. I call it reps. But tomato.
That boy good. He good. Yeah, somehow, some way. I mean, as long as they get into the door of the playoffs.
That's all you have to do. You just got to get in the door. So I think we have a good shot at making the playoffs, which, considering we kind of talked about this on Mile High, is the pundits in the beginning thought we were going to be like number 31 out of 32 teams, that we were the worst, and Nix was the worst first-round quarterback pick ever, and our team was going to be horrible, and Nix's numbers are just out of this world. The defense last week was a little bit different. We were short white lightning, as I call him. So our second side opposite of PS2 was exposed. And I've been listening and reading to some tapes. That's a coach issue. They did not have the coverages correct for Cleveland. They fixed it, but still it was a barn burner. If you were a fan of Cleveland and Denver that night, that was a really good game to watch.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you were a fan of Jameis, you were just like,
Seamus?
Yes.
Yep, here it goes.
Here it goes again. Oh, to the other
I was a fan of that part of the game.
Oh, I know you were. I know you love that. So right now, it looks like if everything stays the same, you guys would play Buffalo because you're the 7th seed, they're the 2 seed. So that should be a very interesting matchup. And hey, look, you and I believe talked after that last time where you played Buffalo and you guys got the win over them. So very possible. They're hot right now, but you guys are playing great yourselves. So I'm eager to see what happens.
We got a better offense now. So our offense is cooking with gas. So we'll see. But yeah, realistically, I think we're going to make playoffs. Do I think we'll get past the first round? That I'm not so sure about.
Yeah.
But worse teams have done better. So
gotta get in the door. Just gotta get in the
Yep.
door. Jameis can make a living, as someone from Stadium to Save and give pre-game speeches. Listen, if Jameis wants to go ahead and give his pre-game speeches and convince everybody that all you got to do is eat a W.
That's a W. Let's eat one. Let's eat one. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight?
That clip, the more you watch it, the more stuff you start seeing. Like people just going, "What is this mofo coming unglued? Like, is he for real?" But then it's like you see a couple of them looking at each other, like, "What the what?" It's like, no, bro. He's just let him do his thing. Just go along. Yeah, it's like Eddie Murphy said back in the day when James Brown was singing and the band couldn't understand. What the hell is James talking about, man? I don't know. We getting paid. Keep singing. Yeah, yeah. That's the James.
Oh yeah, look, he can put up numbers. We know he's had 5,000-yard seasons, but yes, he seems to not know the color of jersey that his team is wearing that day.
You know that man's still blind. He lied and said he went and got his eyes fixed.
Listen, I
He
can't.
be standing next to look. You know how I know he blind? James is what, 6'2", something like that? 6'2", 6'3". He be standing on the sideline talking to Holly Rowe. You know Holly ain't nothing but like 5'1". He's standing there looking at, yes, Holly, I really feel it. She got to hold the mic like this. I'm down here, James. My he just remember what was it? Hot Shots, the Top Gun parody where they had the one dude with the eyes that was all crossed and couldn't fly the plane. That's James Winston.
Yes, good old James. Shout out to him, man. Glad he's got his opportunity to get back in here and save the day because that was a dumpster fire.
Anybody? He was excited about eating them W's like he had just found a really cool stick. Hey, you guys!
I just think he had some good fried chicken before the game.
He said, "I'm W." Like, bruh, for real. Oh my goodness! Look, from a quarterback that does that type of stuff to a quarterback that has brought joy back to Washington. I'm gonna answer the question: how far is Washington?
Die, Sean.
Handy's done. Handy is done. Let's go.
He ate the damn W.
W.
They got him with the value meal at the value menu at McDonald's.
Can I get a W with fries, please?
Only here for a limited time, free with the purchase of a McRib.
See that? James needs to take that. He can be a marketing giant. Oh, with a side of fries or onion rings. You can upgrade them. It's supersized. Yo, hey, as far as Washington, listen, we got 4 games to go. We played the Saints, the Falcons, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. 3 of those realistically should be wins, but we lost to Dallas before, so that should be something. And it's a rivalry game. It's a divisional game, so we need to. That Eagles game, in my opinion, if we can win the other 2 leading up to that or playing against that one, I believe that's going to be for the division. Now we're going to need some help. The Eagles barely beat the Panthers this past week, so hopefully that there's some chinks in the armor, and maybe they could.
Who put a hex on Saquon?
Hey, I mean, I need something because the guy is amazing, absolutely incredible. So, right now it looks like they're gonna win the title. But the only thing I can say is no team has won back-to-back division titles in the NFC East in the last 13 years. So hopefully let's keep that because I believe Philly won it last year. So and
it's my turn, teacher.
Right, it's our turn. Our turn. Let's go. Command Washington Reds. You know what we are. So look, hopefully we have a good team. We do have some holes. Our wide receiver group is something I'm always stressed about. Now our Zane Gonzalez is in because Siebert, our kicker, is out and he's been missing. So that might be an issue. Oh, Eckler's on IR. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So it's going to be interesting this year. But we are in the hunt in December, and I am excited about that because it's been a while since we've been in the hunt in December. So it feels good. It feels so good. Look, we might
also get lucky with the Rams schedule of who they've got. They got a tough road coming up.
Right. Don't think I played all divisional games?
Except one against the Jets.
Oh, well.
So they play the 49ers, the Jets, Arizona, and Seattle. So, 3 out of the 4 divisional games. They're the only ones that could really catch you. So,
right. Because then we also got Atlanta. But we'd have to lose out and they'd have to win out.
Yeah. I think, you know what? All that smack talking that we were doing that at the beginning of the season, unless they put Penix in, I'm just going to go ahead and congratulate you now and go find me a Commander's jersey to wear the next time me and you on the
See, I normally
have a hard time rooting for Stafford and Cup now.
Yeah. Look, Handy, I would agree with you, but the X factor is the quarterback that you have has one thing on his mind, and it's coming back to Washington and screaming, "You like that?" in front of all the fans. He did it when he was in Minnesota. That's all he wants to do. You like that, Washington? I know, because somebody
Well, it
told
don't
me.
make no difference if you score the first touchdown and then Washington come back and beat us 52-7. You done yelled, "You like that?" and
Ain't
then
that-
Washington yelling back, going, "Yeah, you like that?"
Actually, we do.
Thought you
Yo.
was
How's
over
my
there,
baby
over there
McCaffrey
eating
doing on the
W's with.
team?
Oh, Luke. Good old Luke. He's
He's
primed
a
to
rookie.
he's primed to break out to do something. He's got a couple receptions.
Yeah, I saw that.
We feel good about the kid. I like him, but he's not Christian. Let's make that very clear. He is not.
No, he is not.
No, not Christian. But
No.
hey, he's got that McCaffrey spirit, hard worker, good player, can do whatever you ask him to do.
Skinny as shit.
Yeah.
I can see him in that Family Guy meme where Meg is like, "You guys always think you're better than me."
Is that the one where she becomes the singing and the pop princess?
I think so. Maybe I'd have to go back and look at it. I just know that
That's one of my favorite
that meme has
episodes.
been
If you haven't
circulating
seen
around.
it, you have to. She gets like a makeover at a mall and comes out like all pretty and everything, and then she ends up becoming like a pop star.
I can dig it. Yo, we're gonna take a quick breather. We will be right back.
I mean, if you brought him here just to worry about the damn stadium you want to build in Arlington Heights, great. But what's the point of building this brand new fantastic stadium if your team's going to lose 14 games every year? What the hell's the point of that? Just keep losing at Soldier Field. Maybe they'll steal your lawn equipment again. I mean, what the hell? I mean, I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, I'm just so tired of every Sunday having to either, having to justify my fandom or I just don't root for that team because they're my team. No matter what happens, they're my team. And yes, it sucks every Sunday when I sit here in front of my television and go, yeah, that didn't go well.
Yeah, but shout out to our guy, Nicholas Rosario, as one of many rants about his Chicago Bears, who hopefully are turning the corner, although it didn't look
Not
great.
this year.
It didn't look too great in that last game. Yeah.
Sorry, y'all. I'm in that boat with y'all. I'm in the struggle bus too.
Hey, we're all in it. Look, we got one more segment we're going to do on the show, and it's called One Last Thought. And in the spirit of our guy Nick and the things he did, where he asks a question, we all do a number of shows. Obviously, I do 3 or 4. My guy Anthony Handy does about 3. I know it's This Week in SEC, or This Week in Georgia Football. Obviously, the Roundtable, popcorn and parachute pants, etc. Tina's got a Mile High Minute on the Roundtable. Let's Talk Football Breaking News. All these different shows. We don't get paid for this at all, and I know at least
we
for
don't.
me, yeah, right. We get paid in laughs, and our imagination, your smile,
And like,
yes, in likes. I know for me, I have had to justify why you keep going on every single night, blah 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 blah. You ain't getting this, you ain't getting that, and almost had to force me to ask that question: why do we do this? So I'm going to come, and that is going to be my question concerning all the things that we do. What is your why? Tina, I'm going to come to you first. What is your why when it comes to doing these shows and just talking football and all the stuff we do?
Because I have an unnatural, unhealthy obsession with Broncos football and football in all cases, forms, and anything.
There you go. Yes.
just to be honest. It's kind of sports, football and baseball. Those are my things. Like I have an unhealthy obsession with them. I, I just I love my sports and I love my teams. And there's parts of my teams I'm not so thrilled about, but I like seeing what they can do on the field and all of that. The off the field stuff is more what I'm referring to that I'm not going to get into. But it's that camaraderie. It's seeing it's the David and the Goliath stories. We all know the stereotype, but we love watching it. We love watching the David kick the Goliath off the pedestal and take him down. And if our team did it or somebody else did, and just the stories. There's a lot of really good stories in the NFL and how from just like we talked about, like with Detroit, Cincy, these teams that were just horrible for years and years and years, they come back and they're making things happen, and they're to the stupid and the ridiculous, such as the Jaguars letting their accountant steal $25 million from them.
Mm-hmm.
To in the middle. Well, for me, it's figuring out why does the NFL do it this way? What is it about this rule, or why did they make these changes? That stuff, the legal part of it, or the more back end part of it, that's what I really kind of get into. Like, how does the free agency period, the draft, all that stuff affect teams?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does the salary cap affect a team's ability to rebuild, et cetera, et cetera? That's my why. There's so many whys in it. But another why is I have made some really good friends through doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You two, especially, and Nick and Delilah. I would be trying to do everywhere if we were all on the screen. I have an outlet for it outside of Sundays with my buddies at the Broncos bar. And it gets me out of my homer den of just following Denver football. I have to pay attention to other things going on now. It can't just be laser focused down one little narrow way going towards the light.
Oh yeah.
to Denver. So, all right. There's my rambling. But like I said, it's unhealthy obsession. I am first one to admit it. It's an unhealthy obsession. But it's my obsession. As I used to say about Uncle Shay Shay, he may be a bleep, but he's my bleep.
Come on now. Come on.
He's my player on the field.
Call the National Guard. Bring them down here now. We're killing them.
Yeah.
He said, "Don't worry, they coming. They coming.
They'll be here. They'll be here in 10 minutes."
Yo, Handy, even before you worked with us, you were doing loads and loads of stuff with Mr. Fingers, with the Ball Pit podcast, all those different things. You've been doing this thing for years, and then kind of has joined us and doing all the stuff that we do here. What is your reason behind it? What is your why with karaoke, with this, with everything you're doing? What is your motivation? What is my motivation?
You looking for my motivation? Is that what you're looking for?
That's what I'm looking.
You bringing in the mafia?
Hey, Paulie, you know what's doing? Okay. Okay, we got some cannolis coming in a little bit. But I do not take this thing lightly that we do. Let me get out of that because I'll do that all night. I go to bed. I go to bed and I'd be like, hey, honey, I was maybe thinking we could go get some strudel or something. Anyway, you asked that
really,
question. Strudel, toaster strudel. What's wrong with toasters? Do you know the Germans, the Bavarians, they made it.
Strudel.
Hey, but look, Italy, it's pretty close to Germany and the in terms of geography and things of that nature, and they did it tastes good. It's good tasting. I appreciate I appreciate things that taste good, and that's where I'm going to stop with that statement and come back to where I am now, which is you asked that question when I saw when you messaged us earlier what you were going to ask. I was like, that's cool. Or actually, you and I talked about it, I think. And I said, that's cool. And as you were talking and leading into the segment, it hit me. Um, this coming January, this coming Super Bowl Sunday will mark my 16th year in some sort of podcast.
Ooh, nice.
Like I was doing podcasting before podcasting was like a huge thing. It was still really niche when I started doing it back in Super Bowl Sunday 2009. Yours truly, my homeboy Chris Gatchko and my cousin Vincent Lindsay. I'm back. I said Vincent, and it came right back. Let me get away from it. We started a podcast, and it was kind of a Seinfeld concept, a podcast about nothing, and we fleshed it out as it went along, and we had a lot of fun doing it. And then from that to there to the ball pit to meeting the cast and crew of Let's Talk Football to this. It just started with the idea of doing something different. My whole identity was karaoke at that point. I wanted to do something different, and we had the means to make it possible. And I come to find out I love doing this. I love it. It's an outlet for my crazy. A couple of days, it's like a couple of days a week. I come on, turn the cameras on, and like the pressure cooker, let all the steam out, and then I can go back to work and be my normal. Yes, sir. It's right over here under form 3-A-47, right in the closet on shelf 2B. Yes, I'd like to pay for this. My government credit card. Thank you very much. And no tax. Thank you. See, right there, it said no tax. Anyway, it gives me an outlet for my crazy. Tina already touched on. I have met some amazing people doing this. At first, I was doing it with people that I knew from my geographical circle, people that I was around. Now I'm in Oklahoma right now doing a podcast with a lovely lady from Chicago and the homie from Herndon. That's your new nickname. Just like Colin P from the DMV, you are now Sean Spencer, the homie from Herndon. That's it.
H-Town.
So, and then, Nick and Delilah in Chicago and Kate in Michigan and our Canadian friends. And we had some other people scattered all over. I love it. And who knew that all that time spent sitting in the bars drunkenly discussing, who had the bigger hit, Herschel Walker running over, my God, a freshman, or Bo Jackson over Boz, or Marcus Allen hurdling people, or just the craziest. It just all of that could be channeled into this. And I love it. I do. I love it. It's an incredible outlet. It actually kind of sometimes serves as a form of therapy. I don't do a lot. I had a little season there where I was kind of out and about doing football and the karaoke and stuff like that, but there's none of that going on right now. So I'm basically work home and shopping, work home gym and shopping kind of guy. So it's it's an outlet, and I love it. I love to do it. I hope that at some point it catches and starts to make us all a little bit of money. That would not be entirely so bad. I mean, I'm not going to jump in the transfer portal if if a better offer comes along. But so I'll be around.
How much they offer you? How much they offer you, Andy?
And shut up. Be quiet. Be quiet. Listen, just the rumors of my leaving the organization have been wildly discombobulated, just to make sure that that's understood. I hold the family and the organization in high regard and would never do anything so as to disturb its, as if you will, ixo facto postum extum patronus.
Right.
That's where I stop. I don't know. I couldn't go anymore. I can't do it no more. The whole thing is, I love doing this. I do, and I mean, God, I got so deep into this that I haven't really even done any music, which is kind of if that tells you anything, because music is my number one. I was in the car. I looked over. I was in the car. I forgot what the hell I was singing, but I must have been jamming because I was at the red light and I looked over to my left and the people were just looking at me like,
Yes.
yeah, but I was into it. I don't know what song it was I was singing. It probably was Tech Nine or something like that because I'd really get into,
Mm.
but I was just, I know what it was. It's Chris Brown. It's Chris Brown. That's what it was. Look at me now. Oh, I'm getting paper. But I haven't said all of that. I love it, and it's grown to be a bigger love for me than music. And I never thought that anything could ever be a bigger love for me than music. So that's why I do it. Now, Mr. Spencer, Tina, me and you gonna simultaneously look at Sean Spencer on the count of three. I don't know which one is which one is your right and your left. Where's your right and your left at? Where's your right hand at? Because I know we all flipped around on the camera, Tina. Okay, Tina, I want you to. You said your left hand. That's your left hand. That's your right hand.
That's my left.
That's your left hand. Okay, your right hand. Tina, you're gonna look over your right shoulder. Okay, Mr. Spencer, up at Sean. Mr. Spencer, why don't you tell us why you do this?
Hey, because of the people. I love the people, baby. It's all the
Oh man, come on! Don't give me that trick. Don't give me that trick. Daddy loves the kids, man. Don't do that.
I love the people, baby. It's all about the people.
Stop prime time.
Come on. Good God. No, honestly, yeah. I mean, I echo your sentiments. Honestly, if I wasn't talking to you guys about football, I'd be talking to myself about football. And we're handy. You're at a stoplight, and people are looking at you funny because you're singing. People are looking at me funny because I'm sitting here like, what? No, how the heck is that? That's a terrible call. Well, if you just would have ran that, if you blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I don't even know what I'm talking about half the time. So I know other people are kind of like, what? So when I got paired with the great and amazing Janae Struther, she had the energy. I had the just undying love for this game because it's just, to me, it's poetry in motion. It's beautiful. It's a great equalizer. It brings all people together, no matter the color, no matter the shape, no matter the gender, whatever. It brings us all together, and I love that. But more, I love that we all are able to talk. I talk a lot. That's what I've learned through this. I love football and I love to talk about football, but I love to talk, period. I talk entirely too much at times. And one of the things I've noticed is that the reason why I do so many shows is because I like talking. I I like to chuckle and I like to keep going and I talk, and I know you guys have heard countless hours of voice messages and little snippets of me just saying, "Hey, I was thinking about this today," and hey, what do you think about? Or, oh, I loved how you did that. Everything.
We're all kettle on this. Like all of us love to talk.
Trying to explain what mollywhopped is. Where I
that's
go
like
back
a running joke now.
right, and I go back and listen to them. Like, why, Sean? Why do you care this much about Molly? What is it? But I realized
by the
What
way,
is mollywhop?
I didn't mean to derail you, but I remember I said on the show I want everybody to incorporate the word mollywopped into their show at some point this week. Ding, ding, ding! Sean Spencer, you win the prize. Mollywopped, mollywopped is a funky way of saying you really got your ass kicked.
Yeah.
Destroyed, dominated, embarrassed, all that shit. Yeah. But even with that, the fact that I can come together on a weekly basis, and one of the things that I think is so key about this, we talked about all the people that we met that are friends. I know some of my best friends that I seldom talk to, and I hate that. But I think about you guys, and I'm like, I know where you're going to be on Tuesday night. I know where Will's going to be Wednesday. I know where the ladies are going to be every other Thursday. Like, I know these things, and it's like, yes, okay, cool. I know how they're doing, and then I can talk to you throughout the week, and it's just to me, it's what it's created and how it's all brought us all together. Like Handy, like you're saying, from Oklahoma to Chicago to Herndon to uh, you know, uh, Arizona at one point, Florida, Northern Canada, all these different places. It's just so remarkable because I love talking this game, so I can just talk to a wall. But the fact that all of you have joined in and all of you love talking this, and I don't even have to say anything. I can just press record and let y'all do your thing. That to me, it makes my heart smile. And every time my mom watches, she gets excited and as long as certain people down here can keep it PG, uh, she's like, "Oh, I love you, show. I love you, but I don't know about
That
that one."
woman.
Right. I don't know about that one with that filthy mouth. I just got no, but she loves it, and that's something that's great. And I'll end by saying this: my pops is 85 years old, retired twice. He worked in radio throughout the late 70s into the 80s, and he worked in like Dallas Fort Worth and media and news and all this stuff. Like early, like when they were just breaking color barriers in certain spots, and he had like the first black show in Dallas Fort Worth, all this stuff. So over the weekend for Thanksgiving, I went out there to see him. And then, he was all excited. He's got me all the mic and all these different things for the show. He's so proud of me, but we really don't really talk about it as much. Got up Friday morning. I was coming upstairs, and he was like, "Hey, come over here real quick." He had his camera set up. He had another side camera. He had his editing stuff. He took it all out and had been setting it up all morning and gave me a script. And he said, "All right, I want you to sell yourself." And just basically walked me through it. And it was like a master class, and just him just sitting there with me and giving me all his all his little wisdom. And we just went back and forth, and I look back on that, and he's 85. So every day that I get is a blessing to me. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's weird because there's been a long time where I've been like, "Tag, I just want to say, all right, well, how do I talk to you? I want to ask you, like, what do I do here? What do I do that? Like, are you impressed with all these things I'm doing?" And then when he sat there and we just had that conversation, it was like, I'm doing the right thing. I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be helping bring people together. I'm supposed to be talking this football and hitting people up at random times. Like, "Hey, I was just thinking maybe on your show you should do this. Maybe you should do that," because this is who he is. This is what I am, and it just makes my heart smile. It makes my heart smile. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate us all getting on here and doing this. Yes, yes. Chicago, Herndon, OKC, living in America.
You
So
have a show tonight?
Yeah, I feel good.
good guy.
Nah.
So yeah, that's the why. That's why we're getting out here. That's why we're doing it. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys joining us here on Let's Talk About the Roundtable. Yes, appreciate y'all being here and listening and tuning in, talking to football. Next week, Delilah and Nicholas will be back, and so we definitely welcome them. Oh, Chewy, what's up? I know. I'm not Nick. I'm not Delilah.
Oh, you're as much as part of this team as they are. Like, oh, well, I guess I just rolled on a cat foot.
I'm going now. Look, we got to get out of here. We appreciate you guys being here with us and joining us and talking a little football with us. For my guy over there, Mr. Anthony Handy, also the lovely Tina Winter. It's your boy, Sean Spencer. We appreciate y'all. We will see y'all next time.
However the kids do it.
Right? Peace, people. We'll see y'all next time.